Hello for the 24th week of the year. I've used two Gospels this weekend. One is Friday's Gospel in the weekday Mass, and that is Luke 6:39 to 42. And today's Gospel, Mark 8:29 to 35. And it all deals with Jesus getting upset with Peter and saying, "Get behind me, Satan. You are thinking not as God does, but as human beings do. Get behind me." He calls Peter Satan. What does that mean? I think it means a lot. I have always found this to be very interesting when Jesus was very upset with the first pope in the church. Get behind me, Satan. But before I go to that, I'd like to share. I got an email from one of my best priest friends, Father Herman Kamlich. We call him Herman, the German. And it was one of these emails that it wasn't personal, but it was just something that somebody did. And it goes something like this. There was a teacher who went into his class one morning and he says, "Look, test, surprise test." And then he goes and he gets all these sheets of papers with the questions on them, and he goes all around the room and takes them and turns them down on the desk till he gets finished. And he says, "Okay, now turn over the paper." And they all look at the paper, and this is what they see: a black dot. And he says, "Now I want you, guys and gals, to write whatever you see. That's the test. Go ahead. You got 20 minutes. Well, they were perplexed. They were sort of uptight. They were confused. They said, "Guy's nuts." But at any rate, they wrote for 20 minutes. He took them all up, and then he read them all to the class. And he said, "Well, now look, this is not going to count for your grade. But I'm doing this because I want you to think about something that I think's important. First of all, not one of you wrote about and described all of the white. You only described the black dot. There's everything on that paper you were supposed to describe. Why did you zero in on the black dot?" Oh, some said was right exactly in the middle of the page. And why do you zero in that? That takes me to the two gospel readings. Well, Friday's gospel reading, which is from Luke, I'm just going to read it quick because this is just the latter part of it. And Jesus is speaking and he says this: "Why do you notice the splinter in your brother or sister's eye, but do not perceive the wooden beam in your own? How can you say to your brother or your sister, 'Let me remove that splinter in your eye,' when you do not even notice the wooden beam in your own eye? You hypocrite! Remove the wooden beam from your eye first." And so we zero in on the negative, on the black dot, on what's wrong with my brother and sister. There is so much more to them than just the black dot or the splinter in their eye. They are much better than just that one little part. Why do we do that? But we do. And then in the gospel, when Peter says, "Jesus, I don't want you to go into Jerusalem because they're going to kill you," and then Jesus gets upset and calls him Satan. "Get behind me, Satan, for you are thinking not like God, but like humans." Well, one is, I sort of think the whole definition of Satan and evil and devil is everything that's not God. Everything that is not in accordance with God's thinking. That's what makes it evil. It's not God's thinking. It's only our own. And how many of us do the exact same thing? We only look at all of life only through me. It's what I know, what I think, and what I believe. I think Jesus had a bigger picture of reality than just what Peter thought or you and I think. God's insight into life is all life. Life and love, gifts and grace, nature and friends, and forgiveness and justice and mercy. We can keep on all the good material things like beer and scotch, Coca-Cola. How do you look at life? How do you look at your brother and sister in life? Do I look for the splinter in his or her eye? Do I look only for what I think or what the world thinks? Or do you look at the unbelievable white and good how God thinks? I think that prof was a wise man. I think Jesus was a wise, divine person who became one of us. Have a good day.